such an emotional week this week. I hope you have a special cocktail for me because, quite frankly, I don't have the strength. Oh, hey! Hi! It's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, with the Fingerdoo review of RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 1, Episode 7. And all I can say is, Jorge, drink me! Ooh, thank you. This is very delicate. There's no garnish. What is it? A Dubonnet cocktail? This is... All right. Continuing with our British cocktails, which mostly apparently involve gin. This is a Dubonnet cocktail. Now, in honor of this week's main challenge, which was to make over a family member, this particular cocktail is not only enjoyed by Queen Elizabeth II, but by her mother. So it's a family favorite. Let me have a sip. I'm going to ruin my lipstick. There's no straw? No, it's like this. All right. Oh, wow. I can see why the royal family finds that a favorite. That's lovely, but very boozy. All right. Let me brace myself and get to it. Well, we started this week off by saying goodbye to Blue. So sad to say bye to her because, quite frankly, not only did she grow as a queen, but she started to grow on me. I'm so serious. I started to really like what she had to say. Was often not only shocked by some of the things she said, but very proud that she, short of the other queens, was the only one to say them in some cases. So she'll be very much missed, especially by Cheryl. God bless Cheryl, her one and only friend. Although, since Blue got her badge and Shaz is still without the badge, maybe not so close, but still, you could see. Now Cheryl's alone in the top 4. Oh, bless her. You know, here's to you, Shaz. You're doing all right, my darling. Seriously. Wow! Of course, Cheryl did make it known that she felt that Blue shouldn't have gone home. She felt that it should have been Bagga. And I have to say, I agree. I think, not that Bagga should have gone home, but I think Bagga should have been in the bottom, too. Cheryl did a great job that week, but I think... lip-syncing in front of Cheryl, a Cheryl song. Cheryl, well, I think no one was worried about Cheryl going home. Certainly not Cheryl. Which Cheryl are we talking about now? Some of the girls were definitely still sore over the fact that Bagga was so laissez-faire about the whole lip-sync. She clearly had said that she didn't really know the song. Well, now she's backtracking. She said she knew it. She just wasn't confident about it. And I have to say, I think that there were some interesting points that were brought up. First of all, I loved Davina de Campos saying, failure to prepare is preparing to fail. It's very Yoda of her. And then the Viv, I thought, you know, rightly so, even though Bagga's her friend, she could see she needs to step it up. She needs to make a bit more of an effort. And I think now that we're getting to it, the top 4, seriously, this is the moment where Bagga really needs to not be doing any fox paws, which is French for misstep. The next day in the workroom, the girls congratulated Viv on her 3rd win and consequently her 3rd repeater badge. Cheryl was still riding a Cheryl high for meeting her idol last week, and Bagga was going around being a little more humble than she normally is. I'm just saying. But before Cheryl could crack off onto another girl group monologue, there was Ru with this week's mini challenge. So exciting. It was a bitch fest with puppets, because everybody loves puppets, unless of course they're possessed by the devil and coming at you in the night. So the queens had to line up in front of a big black hole and reach in and pull out a puppet. Bagga got the Vivian, and although I didn't really understand most of what Bagga said, she was so funny I nearly puked. I'm not lying. She just makes me laugh. She just stand there and look at people, and I think I would laugh quite seriously. Cheryl reached in and grabbed Bagga, and then proceeded to tear her a new one. Good for Cheryl. Seriously, it's about time. Crack off is all I'm saying. Davina de Campo got Cheryl and read her to filth. Seriously, I think that Davina has issues. And finally, the Viv pulled DDC out of the dark black hole, and although she put a red wig on her, she justified it by giving her red minge. And although she was a little harsh, she was still very, very funny. And Davina seemed to laugh right along with her. God bless. Unless she's drunk. She's probably having these Dubonnet cocktails. Seriously. I'm used to it now. And which queen was the shadiest puppet master? Well, it was DDC, God bless her. But she didn't win anything. Did she win anything? I don't think she won anything. I mean, before we could even get to them winning anything, it was time for the main challenge, which was a makeover challenge. And I have to say, I love the makeover challenges the most. And this is another one, like sewing, you know this is coming. For the people that say I've never painted another face in my... I can understand that. I can totally understand that. I've painted a few faces, but not lately, not after learning how to do this to myself. And I mean, I know what works on my bone structure, but I think it would be hard for me to do. I think I would do it, but it would be hard. You have to get your head around it. You have to do it opposite. I don't know. But this is one of those challenges where it surprises me that the queens haven't at least made over one or two people once or twice before they got to the race. I'm so serious. And who were the girls making over? Well, normally it's guys, but no, this was female family members. And I have to say, I was so excited. I always love meeting the drag queen's family because you get a better sense of who they are. And who did they get to come? Well, Bagga's mom, Josie, apparently had nothing better to do. She said yes. Cute as buttons, but there was something, I don't know if what's going on there. Bagga kept saying she's shy. I wonder if she's timid. I have to say, this whole relationship with Bagga and her mom, I mean, clearly there's a couple of rotten apples hanging on that family tree or something. But I have to say, as somebody who didn't have a great relationship with my mother either, I notice when other people don't, and I can understand why. Not every mother on the earth is the best, and not every child on the earth is the best. And sometimes we test our parents more than they're willing to pay for. And sometimes our parents just are not for us. I don't know. I'm not judging it, but it was very clear that there was some timidity there between them. They didn't seem as close as the Viv and her mom were, which the Viv pointed out, just saying. Viv's mom, Cassie, was there. And I have to say, it surprised me because I thought that the Vivian was been touched by an angel more than once or twice, and I'm not judging that. It's certainly her prerogative. I think she looks good. But I've also felt, and I haven't said this because it's not my place, but in the confessionals, when she's sitting there with that hat on her head, she kind of looks like an evil ventriloquist dummy, I'm just saying. So I was surprised when Cassie walked in, Viv's mom, and Viv looks like Cat. They look so much alike still. So clearly, I'm a bigger bitch than I thought, and the Vivians had way less work than it looks like. I'm just saying. I also was just tickled pink by Cheryl's sister, Gina, who is obviously no stranger to a bit of makeup or wigs or sequins or things like that. She's practically a drag queen. DDC's sister Karen came in the family way, shame on her. Well, you could definitely see the family resemblance between Davina and Karen. Big personalities, the two of them. And although Karen doesn't laugh like Davina or anything, there's very similar qualities to their spontaneity and their joy. They seem to be very happy to be wherever they're at the time. Now, before I go any further, I would like to go on record as saying that I thought that the Viv and Bagga had a very different hand dealt to them by having their mothers there. And I'm not saying this in the way that Bagga was saying it on the runway about her mother. I'm not talking about women of a certain age, but there are certainly some things that a younger girl will not think of doing twice that an older woman might be like, well, and walking in heels, walking fast in heels, dancing in heels. I mean, I have to tell you, I have 3.5-inch heels. Those are my shoes. And they didn't have them in the store. So I thought, oh, well, I'll get the 4. 1/2 inch. You know what the difference of a 1/2 inch is? Being shot out of a cannon. So anytime a lady of a certain age is on that runway in heels, my heart goes out to them, I have to say. So I do feel that Viv and Bagga were at a slight disadvantage dragging up their mothers, whereas I think dragging up the sisters definitely, if it wasn't a lot easier, it definitely came off as way more fun. I'm just saying. But before any of the queens could start calling foul, it was time to hit the runway. And there was Rue. Another fantastic hairdo. But that dress, oh, do you remember when I hated her dresses? Well, she's more than made up for them. Although I'm not a huge fan of a bubble skirt, but I wasn't mad at that. I'm just saying. Of course, joining Rue on the judges panel, giving us all kinds of shoulder this week, was a delicious Michelle Visage. And she was joined by my favorite, I have to say, the funniest man in England, Alan Carr. And joining them on the judges panel was the ethereal Michaela Cole. She got a couple of things on Netflix. You should check her out. She is just delicious. Ooh, speaking of delicious. First up on the runway, Cheryl and Sissy Hall. Oh my God, adorable. Sissy sold the hell out of that cheap dress. And I have to agree with the judges. That was the only problem I had with that whole thing. Cheryl's dress was gorgeous. Sissy's a little craft, arts and craftsy. It was a different dress. But the wigs, the faces, excellent job. Another couple who did an excellent job was Davina and her sister Karen, or Delicia De Campo. They looked exactly alike. Well, except that DDC is about 4 feet taller than Karen, than Delicia. But they were both pregnant, nice to see. And even though I agree with Michaela that those dresses made me think of times when I've been on drugs, I was just impressed. I thought they both looked great. But what I didn't understand is how Delicia looked so pink and rosy, and poor DDC still had that ashy grayness going on. I don't know what's going on there. Just saying. Another couple that looked fantastic, and I knew they would, was the Viv and her mother, Cassie. I have to say, that wig, I thought that Viv's mom looked like Debbie Reynolds. I was like, wow, look at her. And Jesus, the Vivian, that was just fantastic hair, fantastic face, fantastic everything. They did great. The sad couple of the week, God bless, was Baga and her mom, Sack of Spuds. And even her name, Sack of Spuds. Why couldn't she be of Le Frite? I don't know. My French is awful. Kick me out of Canada right now. But I don't know why Sack of Spuds. Bag of chips, Sack of Spuds. Either way, when they were getting ready backstage and Baga was putting that eyebrow on her mother, I was like, what the hell is going on? I know that she said she didn't know how to put makeup on another face, but she's never in her natural life put her own eyebrow on that. Why is she starting to do that with her mother? I'm so serious. And then those not safety pins, the bobby pins down the side to hold her hair back, and you know, this is the thing. Again, I am just going to say, everyone else seemed to get along great with their family member. And although Baga and her mom did not seem to have a problem, they weren't fighting, but there was tension. And I don't know if Alan Carr's right by saying that maybe Baga was hypersensitive to her mother being in an environment she's not around. And but the things she was saying about her, and she kept saying them, they kept getting worse, and I kept feeling bad. And then in the Untucked Lounge, Saka started to cry, and mostly it seemed because she was upset that she may be the reason that Baga was going to have to lip sync. But no, Baga put herself in the bottom. Baga did that horrible face on his lovely mother, and God bless. And I know that there's been some reaction on. I haven't read anything because I don't like to read anything until I do my review. I just don't like to be swayed too much. But I'm sure that there's been some fallout in British tabloids, because they wouldn't be British tabloids if there weren't. And I'm sure there's been some rebuttal and some problem solving and smoothing of wrinkles and such. But either way, there's a complicated relationship there, and I don't think that we should all judge family relationships without first looking at how our own family gets along. And maybe you're not the one that has a special relationship with your parents, but one of your brothers or sisters does. And if you don't, if you're all just off a Rockwell Christmas card, well then, God bless you, and I hope you bring in homeless people and feed them during the holidays or something like that. I'm just saying, I'm homeless. So it was no surprise to anyone, certainly not me, that Baga was in the bottom. And you know what? It wasn't a surprise that it was Cheryl, although I thought Cheryl didn't really deserve to be there. But of the three left, she was the one that had that little stumble by putting her sister in the cheaper outfit. Other than that, DDC and Delicia, they both had the same outfit on, and Viv and her mom at least similar. But with Cheryl, like different colors, similar stuff, but that was where it ended. And of course, she landed in the bottom, bless her. And this was a weird lip sync too. No offense to Amy Winehouse. I love Amy Winehouse. I love this song. This is one of my favorite Amy Winehouse songs. But it's not a dance number. Like up until now, most of the numbers that they've done on RuPaul have been dance numbers. And there's Cheryl in the quintessential dance outfit, ready to cha-cha-cha. And it's Amy Winehouse's Walk Away, or whatever it's called. It's a lovely song, but there's Cheryl in her and it just really wasn't appropriate for that song. And another thing that happened during lip sync I hate it when this happens, is when the queens interact. Stop it. You know, there was that one moment where Baga started walking to the right of the stage and Cheryl was behind her. So inadvertently, she blocked Cheryl from the camera, which is a great move, but I don't think Baga was familiar with it. And then there were a couple of times when they walked to the back, and one time they walked to the back together, Baga grabbed Cheryl's hand, which kind of threw her a little, but then later, near the end of the song, Cheryl put her arms around Baga, and it was lovely. Don't get me wrong, it was lovely. But I don't want to see that kind of interaction during a lip sync for your life. I want them to be enemies, and I want them to throw it down hard. I'm just saying. So when the music died and the girls stopped hugging each other, it was no surprise that Baga stayed. I mean, she has 3 badges, and Shazza has none, as she's pointed out, and others have as well. And I don't know. I feel Cheryl did a better job in the challenge and should have stayed. I don't think Cheryl did a bad job in the lip sync. It just wasn't her song. Baga did a more, I guess she was, I thought, there was that point there where I thought Baga looked like Edith Piaf. It was like very artistic and deep and emotional and stuff like that. So it was easy to see why Baga stayed, and poor Shazza had to sashay finally. And I have to say, I've said it before, I'll say it again, Cheryl really grew on me. For somebody who had such an awkward start on RuPaul's Drag Race, she just has become one of my favorites. And quite frankly, in light of not getting a Ru-Peter badge, I would really like to see her win Miss Congeniality. Was she congenial to everyone? I think so. Even when everyone was seeming to not be so with her. Her friendship with Blue was lovely. She always had something nice to say, especially if it was about a girl group. But there you have it. Now we're down to the top 3. Is this the top 3 you hope for? I think this is the top 3. I have to check. These 3 girls definitely, for me, were all picks to be in the top. I don't know if they were. I know Viv was a top 3 for me, and so was Baga. I think I even picked Baga to win the whole thing. But DDC has been tearing it up. And the Viv is great. The Viv is great. She is doing everything I expect her to do. And that's why I'm like, because she's not surprising me. She's a fierce queen. She deserves to win. But the other girls have really surprised us in different ways and been exemplary beyond anyone's anticipation. So all we have to do is tune in next week for the finale. And RuPaul's at the end already. Oh my God. RuPaul's Drag Race UK, and see who is going to be crowned the winner. And then when you're done, you come on back and see me, so you and I can compare notes. Till then, miss me. Seriously. I love it.